So hi, my name is Jen Johnson. I wanted to talk to you about the dimensions of reality in GIS that we are using in Nashville Planning Department and the Metropolitan of Nashville and Davidson County. So my title, as you may have noticed, is Geodesign Specialist. I'm not that special except for the fact that my title was assigned to me to acknowledge the evolution of my responsibilities at Metro because of the person that actually preceded me and had my job before. A GIS analyst by the name of Micah Taylor was allowed the freedom and technical support to experiment and develop with new ways of engaging diverse groups of the population and other stakeholders. And his work, so forth, pushed a lot of the geodesign framework onto our planning department. And because words matter, hiring me as a geodesign specialist was a step that our local government took to encourage the geodesign framework and show that that will have a big impact on our work moving forward. So in our department, there is a big umbrella of the Department of Planning, but we have multiple teams involved in every project. My team that I'm currently in is the GIS and mapping team, but you can see that there's multiple groups of people. I'd be remiss to not say that the cross-disciplines that already existed in our planning department before I got there, or before geodesign was the basis or framework, and the dedicated professionals that build our plans, edit our zoning, and implement our sustainable strategies, they were already doing a lot of really great work with the community, and it makes adopting the geodesign framework fairly simple. The common thread that is between us in my department is GIS, and using that paired with our particular expertise to achieve Nashville Next. So Nashville Next is basically a movement. It's a way our plan and our vision for the entire city is being organized and identifying the issues around development in Nashville between the year of 2015 when it was adopted up to 2040. So we're going to be working toward what we hope will be achievable goals by 2040. So those main goals in that plan are preserving our neighborhoods, housing, so making sure that there's close to transit and jobs, protecting the rural character and natural resources that we already have in Nashville, creating walkable centers and for jobs and housing as well, expanding the Walk Bike Nashville mantra that we have there, and making our city overall affordable. It's not currently as affordable, especially if you're a single young adult and working in Nashville. It's actually pretty expensive to live there at the time. So thus far, we are collaborating internally, collaborating externally, and using those practices and different levels of geodesign to be successful with our work. So in addition to just being transparent, Nashville, this is our growth and preservation concept plan. It maps the challenges toward achieving the vision that we've outlined in Nashville Next, and it's largely influenced by rapid population growth, expansive redevelopment, and traffic congestion. So our projected congestion from 2015 to 2040 is growing fairly rapidly, and that is along with our expected population increase of over 100,000 people by the year 2040, if not before. So this is what that looks like. We spend about 82 hours a year just sitting in traffic in Nashville. That was released by the Intech study that was released this year. But Nashville and Davidson County will be developing quickly and is developing quickly, and currently we have 72 buildings just in the downtown core that will be added over the next 2 years. So we addressed a lot of these challenges corridor by corridor now instead of building by building. We are studying entire corridors. Some are up to 2 miles long, and to tackle that, we usually start with a design charrette. We invite the community with these types of flyers to come out and work with us, work with each other, and identify where the main issues as well as the core culture of their community exist. Integrating 3D technology into our charrettes and feedback processes has actually been so valued by the staff, community officials, and the public that our annually compiled work plans that we put together have evolved to include 3D in every major planning project going forward. So this example is 21st Avenue, and it particularly has the challenges that you would expect in an urban core, challenges with safety, pedestrian access, motorist safety as well. And because it's along our main interstate route, we go from a neighborhood scale road up to an interstate scale road very quickly. And so we have a major drop off in grading changes as well as other factors of safety that become a problem. So this is where I come in. My job is actually unique in the fact that I get to work with everybody, all those groups in our planning department. We're all on the same floor, but we have a lot of the planners on one side and a lot of the technologists on the other. I am running back and forth between that hallway every day. So basically we start with inventory. This is some of the products that I'm using to get my job done. And so I have a lot of questions. I usually start with a list. Sometimes that list is just a checklist in Trello, and I'm like, okay, let's check the box. What do you got? What do I have? What data is dynamic? What data is static that I can use? However, not every time I get assigned a project, it doesn't always have a long shelf life, nor does it always have details. Let that sink in. So this was left on my desk with no other information. Turned out to be a real project that I had to turn around within 2 days. So modeling can get quite interesting and intriguing and a little bit avant-garde. So this is what I'm expected to turn that kind of thing into. We do transit-oriented development. We do 2-mile corridor studies. Like I mentioned before, I'm looking at 2D as well as 3D. I love 3D, but there's nothing wrong with 2D either. But max zoning potential is a big part of it. We are the planning department, so we can't get around that. And then I'm moving into virtual reality as well as just using web scenes to be able to share a lot of the information, reporting values, and documentation that I need to across my department. So here's an example of, well, before I start, so you'll notice a green blob of jello at the end of this street. This is Broadway, our main commercial corridor in Nashville. So basically, they're looking at different heights of a sculpture that would be at the end of the street and what your view shed would look like. So this is actually a model that the person that I mentioned before, Mike, had put together originally, and we have since, or I've since taken the initiative to maintain it, to build it out further, to update textures, and we're using these as City Engine as a tool to improve our work and our visualizations. To me, virtual reality just makes sense in public sector. I know it seems like a toy to a lot of people, but for us, the amount of excitement that it encourages in our communities, in the youth, and just in people that walk past my desk every day has been really exciting, and it gets them involved in the planning process very quickly. So you will likely require some, or run into some technical difficulties setting it up. But if you get a standalone device or you have somewhere where you can set up an entire like Oculus Rift setup, it's worth it to me. So we also do augmented reality and go out to schools and work with those students and seeing their reaction and seeing how much they actually wanted to get involved with building their own 3D models. So you can see in the picture where the students are actually sitting down, they are now being taught by our team to learn SketchUp and learn other 3D modeling software. Now the students are so excited that they're getting involved. So I had to do a lot of R&D between my projects. That's basically what I'm doing. These are some of the resources that have helped me get to where I am, and I'm excited to share them with you. I also brought a standalone headset and Oculus Go with me. I tend to sideload my apps through Unity. So I will have that in the discussion breakout session later if you'd like to check it out. Thank you. you.